stand for a moment of silence, and then we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, you may be seated. So our first agenda item is the review of the agenda. And do we have any changes or requests or conversation we need to have about the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
A motion by Mrs. Rowland. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. And just real quick, Carl is on a business trip out of town. That is why he is on virtual. Okay, Mr. Kaiser. Okay, the second agenda item is to consider approval of minutes from the regular board meeting on April the 28th, 2026. Do I have a motion, any conversation, anything like that?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from the meeting on April 28th.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Dorsey. I'll second. Any other conversation? All those in favor say aye for approval of the minutes.
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. I'll hand over the next part to Mrs. Crosby for public school recognitions.
So every Clark County Board of Education meeting starts in the best way, and that's recognizing student, staff, and community members who exemplify the portrait of the Clark County learner qualities and competencies. So we're going to do that with the first thing to start off the meeting, and we're happy to start with Mr. Mickey Little.
I have to get my glasses out because I'm at that age. So I'm really excited to be here because this is one of the highlights of my year as a junior counselor at George Rutgers Clark High School. Berea College sends out announcements to all counselors in October. It's in the fall. So of my 430 juniors, I went through the list and I was like, oh my gosh, who exemplifies the Woodson, Dr. Carter Woodson as a person? You might ask, who is that? Dr. Carter Woodson is the founder of the Black History Month. He graduated from Berea College. He was the first African American to get a doctorate degree from Harvard. And that's just one of the many things. And as I'm looking through my list of people who exemplifies the spirit of Dr. Woodson, I gotta go by script or I'm gonna get in trouble. Adrian Brown. He exemplifies the normal junior class students. He represents the very best of academic excellence, leadership, integrity, and a heart for service. He leads by example for his peers. He always brings a strong work ethic and creativity. He volunteers outside of school. He is a member of various clubs and is compelled to make change in a somewhat dim world. He reflects the characteristics envisioned by Dr. Carter Woodson. He is a lifelong learner, a leader, and a servant to Winchester and beyond. This is why I nominate him for the Dr. Woodson Scholar, and he was selected to receive it. This would be his secret presentation of the award, but he actually got, I don't know if you knew, they sent you an email like this week. And I'm like, oh, darn it. I kept this a secret for 6 months. So with this, should he select to go to Berea College, he will be receiving $200,000. So basically, free education for this. If you'll come up.
that out for the picture
Oh, I didn't see who.
and the certificate. The other one. Yeah, can y'all come in the front, Mr. Howard, please?
We just have to be wise enough to follow it.
Yeah.
Oh, is this good?
Fantastic, thank you.
Congratulations.
I don't believe Sophie Ward is here. Thank you.
And Mr. Little, thank you for what you do, because you do that, I think you've done that how many years in a row now?
I try every year.
You do, you do.
I do.
You, yeah, I do have, you've been in the past so many years, just from my experience, but to help our youth get some money, and Berea College is a fantastic college, so
Thank you.
you're welcome.
We're going to continue with our gifted and talented coordinator, Michelle Kaysen.
Okay, good evening. This recognition is proudly awarded in honor of outstanding achievement and exemplary performance in the Talent Identification Program of Kentucky through the Center for Gifted Studies at Western Kentucky University. Each student took on the challenge of taking hours of tests in reading, writing, math, and science, 2 grade levels above their current grade. All were invited to the state level recognition ceremony for scoring in the top 10% nationally in at least one of those areas for 2 grade levels above where they are. A little perspective on that, there's about 650,000 kids in Kentucky, only about 250 took these tests. 72 of them were recognized at Western, 24 of them were from here, 24 took it here in Clark County, and 5 were recognized, which is very large odds. So, they exemplify nourishing an eager mindset as part of being a resilient learner. It takes not just talent and skill, but also perseverance, focus, and a dedication to continuous learning and growth to take on this challenge. Their success elevates the standards of excellence for everyone around them, and their effort invested, along with their commitment, passion, and drive to excel, deserve recognition for Clark County greatness. So I think 4 of them are here. So Liam Stanley. Liam went to Western. He was recognized in science. Are you doing all of them individually or when they all come?
Whatever she
Okay.
tells me.
Okay. Piper Swanson. Piper was recognized in writing. See, Howard, need a picture?
Congratulations. But we need a better picture. Oh, we can.
Okay, Caitlin Crago. Caitlin was recognized in reading. Okay, and then Sarah Hartman, I don't think made it in. Sarah was recognized also in reading, and I will get hers. And then the last that's here is Olivia McQuinn. And before, okay, go. Olivia took this test in 4 areas: science, reading, writing, and math. And she was in the top 10% nationally in 3 out of 4 of those. But she was also super close in the 4th one, and I just want to recognize that because they told me when they went to the awards ceremony last Friday at Western Kentucky that there was only 1 person in Kentucky that did it, and she was so close to being the 2nd. So.
Is there one more?
Okay. Yay.
Very good.
Did she sneak out? Did they leave?
Let's go to Dave.
We could, yeah.
Okay, take it right now.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're just gonna take one picture.
Okay, great. All right, here we go. Perfect, thank you. We will continue with GRC Assistant Principal Diana Klein.
All right, good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to recognize 4 incredible individuals tonight for their accomplishments. And I'm going to read through some of these, and we're going to take individual pictures as well.
I'm going to take all together. Okay?
The first one is Miss Jillian Eisen. She exemplifies the portrait of a learner competency of engaged citizen through her leadership in organizing a book drive for the Clark County students as part of her journey to earn the prestigious Eagle Scout designation. By identifying a need and taking action to support literacy and learning, she demonstrated compassion, initiative, and strong commitment to serving others in our school community. Her project reflects the dedication, service, and leadership required to achieve the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest honor in Scouting. J.W. Sosby exemplifies the portrait of a learner competency of engaged citizen through service in restoring a cemetery for a rural Clark County church as part of his journey to earn the prestigious Eagle Scout designation. By helping preserve an important community landmark, J.W. demonstrated respect, responsibility, and a commitment to serving others while honoring local history. His project reflects the dedication, service, and leadership required to achieve the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest honor in Scouting. Braden Jennings exemplifies the portrait of a learner competency of engaged citizen through his service in building shelves for Winchester Parks and Rec, as part of his journey to earn the prestigious Eagle Scout designation. By using his skills to support a community organization, he demonstrated responsibility, initiative, and a commitment to making positive impact in the local community. His project reflects the dedication, service, and leadership required to achieve the highest rank, Eagle Scout. Last but not least, Zane Wagner exemplifies the portrait of a learner competency of engaged citizen through service in building cat houses for the Clark County Animal Shelter as part of his journey to earn the prestigious Eagle Scout designation. By using his time and skills to support animals in need, Zane demonstrated compassion, responsibility, and a commitment to making a positive difference in our community. His project reflects the dedication, service, and leadership required to achieve the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest honor in Scouting.
No, you won't. Yeah, I'm actually an Eagle Scout as well, a few years ago. A couple years ago, not as recent as these guys. Boy Scout and all, yeah.
Okay, we go 3, 2, 1.
Not even honorary.
Justice FRC Coordinator Brittany Combs and Diana Klein, do you want to help?
Hi everybody, good evening. My name is Brittany Combs. I'm the Family Resource Coordinator at Justice Elementary School. First, I would like to introduce the Big Brothers Big Sisters Program Director, Ben. He wanted to say a few quick words about the program.
Thank you, Ms. Combs. First and foremost, I just want to thank everybody who helped make our program in Clark County happen. Assistant Principal Klein, she really spearheaded everything. FRC Combs, Principal Maldonado at Justice Elementary, thank you for making it happen. These young people who have stepped up to become high school bigs in this program really do exemplify a lot of the qualities that you look for in young leaders. And so we're really proud of these folks. Our program, our mission at Big Brothers Big Sisters is to empower children, empower youth, especially those who are facing adverse circumstances. And the bigs who went through the enrollment process did an application, they did an interview, they did a training, they had their background checks run, their reference checks run. They showed up early in the morning to see their littles every week at Justice Elementary. And so we really appreciate them stepping up and answering the call. You should be very proud of them. They're very impressive young leaders within the school. And I think something that I wanted to share that really exemplifies how they have empowered the children and the littles at Justice Elementary. I was out at Justice last week speaking to the littles, and I spoke with little sister Raven. And I asked Raven, tell me something that you've learned from your big sister. And without skipping a beat, Raven said, never back down, never give up, and always follow your dreams. And noting that her big sister Ariel tells her this all the time. So thank you all very much. I just wanted to share that with you all. And I want to thank all the bigs, especially the seniors who are graduating. We really appreciate you volunteering as mentors, and we wish you the best in your next chapter. Thank you.
Okay, I'm really quickly going to share the nomination that I wrote for them. The Big Brothers Big Sisters of America program at our school, Justice Elementary, demonstrates excellence through its consistent commitment to meaningful, high-impact mentoring relationships that support the academic, social, and emotional growth of our students. Our program goes beyond basic mentorship by fostering intentional, one-to-one connections that are rooted in trust, consistency, and positive role modeling. These students exemplify the portrait of a learner competency of engaged citizen through their commitment to the program, consistently showing up early before school each week to mentor their assigned students. They have made strong, positive connections with students, demonstrating reliability, care, and genuine investment in building a supportive school community. Thank you all very much for everything that you all have done. All right. Our first recipient, Ariel Osborne. Next recipient, Tanner Rivers. Our next recipient, Xander Miller. Next recipient, Leah Dean. Next recipient, Gabriella Maldonado. Next recipient, Annette Miller. Next recipient, Desire Hooten. Next recipient, Matthew Jones. Bella Shepherd. Next recipient, Daniel Ventura. And our last recipient, Carla Hernandez.
Don't want to be in the back? This is who want to be in the back.
Oh, yes, yes.
Ben.
You gotta send me that clip picture then.
All right, in between. Okay. Here we go. Everybody ready?
Go Cards.
Get your certificate. Go Cards. Make sure all eyes are open. Thank you.
That might
Let's continue with Mr. Jamie King, Director of People Personnel.
Good evening. I'd like to recognize our awesome school attendance leaders this evening. The attendance leaders' commitment to collaboration is one of the many heartbeats of Clark County Public Schools. Functioning in a critical role, they oversee the accuracy of school attendance data, which is critical for our district. Their duties include communicating with families and staff to remove barriers for student success and assisting in daily school procedures. Their mission is to ensure that all students maximize the opportunities in education provided to them within CCPS by being present and prepared to engage. They are the go-to for their school community with a welcoming face and cheerful demeanor. As a committed collaborator, our attendance leaders are consistently eager and well-equipped to assist co-workers and offer their expertise to events such as open houses and online registration help desk. They have been an integral part of system and procedure development and well regarded amongst their co-workers. With a servant's heart, they exemplify the portrait of a learner, committed collaborator competency to its fullest potential. On behalf of the DPP department, we would like to thank you for your commitment to the CCPS community at large. Vicki Moore. Janet Ferguson. Shiloh Palmer. Amanda Hager. Katie Delowy. Jill Scott. Karen Carter. Catherine Osmond. Alicia Allen. And Natalie Thomas.
Oh, absolutely. Get that. Ms. King? There we go.
Okay, here we go. Great, thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks for all you do. Instructional specialist Amber Murphy, Tiffany Austin.
So we have actually two groups that we're going to recognize today. The first group is our 3 Amazing Shake finalists who competed in the Global Amazing Shake competition. So we recognize them tonight for exhibiting all the competencies of our Portrait of a Learner. As empowered leaders, they demonstrated confidence and initiative in every interaction. Their perseverance as resilient learners was evident as they navigated challenges with determination and composure under pressure. Each student stood out as an effective communicator, speaking clearly, listening actively, and engaging thoughtfully with others. They approached each experience as reflective innovators, adapting and growing from feedback as they progressed throughout the competition. As engaged citizens, they represented our community with integrity and respect, and as committed collaborators, they worked well with peers and adults alike. Most importantly, they carried themselves with professionalism, poise, and character, making our district incredibly proud during the Global Amazing Shake competition. So we recognize Skylar Carter, and Kamaya Willoughby.
We got mama first. You want the thumbs up or? Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, congratulations.
Our second group that we want to recognize tonight is our Flight Academy staff for our 21st Century Learning Grant for this school year. So we recognize them tonight for being committed collaborators and resilient learners. As a team, they work together thoughtfully and intentionally to design and implement an after-school program that aligns with the CCPS mission and vision, while also meeting the expectations of the grant. Through ongoing problem-solving, flexibility, and a shared commitment to student success, they navigated challenges and continuously refined their approach throughout the school year. The willingness to learn, adapt, and support one another has been essential in building a program that is both meaningful and impactful for our students. So we recognize Ashley Brown, Betsy Clark, Ashley Comer, Elizabeth Pratt, Robbie Surgett, Amy Shoemaker, Amanda Schroetz, Geneva Williams, and Amberly Wilson. Yep, all is here.
All right. Everybody ready? Go back up a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Perfect, thank you. All Yeah. Just making sure I didn't go get it.
Carl said he lost something.
He lost something.
Hey, Weston, I'll see you later, buddy.
Carl, can you see us?
Can I get a hug?
You can see and hear us now?
We need to turn it down.
Okay. Alright, he said he couldn't see us.
Oh, it was too big for me to send to you. Yes. Well, it was too big for me to send to you. I'll try to cut it and send it, but he doesn't already. Our next agenda item is our public comments, and we have Ms. Jada Brady here to speak to us.
Well, thank you for being a part of the school board. As you know by now, hopefully, I'm Jada Brady, Clark County PVA. Today marked the conclusion of property assess meetings in the PVA office. For the last 3 years, our community has continued to experience the effects of rapidly increasing property values and the impact those increases have on tax bills. Over the last several weeks, I have sat across the table from families from every corner of this county, young couples trying to buy their first home, elderly residents trying to on fixed incomes, widows, veterans, working families doing everything they can to hold on to the homes they've spent a lifetime building. One conversation in particular stayed with me. This season, I met with the wife of a retired Navy SEAL. As part of his retirement, he purchased a home for his family on Clintonville Road. A few years later, he was diagnosed with ALS, a disease that for most people becomes a death sentence. That was 7 years ago. His wife left her career to become a full-time caregiver, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The level of care required for ALS is overwhelming, and much of that is not covered under VA benefits. What was once a stable family living the American dream is now a household trying to survive on one income while costs continue to rise around them. And the truth is, this is not one story. This is an entire community of people who simply want the chance to retire, stay in their homes, and live with dignity in the community that they help build. I want to be clear about my role in this process. My office is governed by the Kentucky Constitution, which requires that all property that is not exempt be assessed at 100% to fair cash value. The Department of Revenue monitors our assessments and compares them directly to actual sales prices across the county. Those numbers determine how much value is added to the tax roll each year. Once assessments are mailed, my office is legally required to open our doors to appeals and discussions with the public, included extending hours and 2 Saturdays because people deserve the opportunity to be heard. My employees and I are held at the exact standard as every other citizen. In fact, my home and the homes of my employees are reviewed annually by the local appeals board to ensure that we are not under-assessing our own personal properties compared to our neighbors. My personal property is privately appraised so that I am not the one actually doing the assessment. I say all this because I think it's important for the public to understand this. Assessment increases do not automatically have to become tax increases. That decision belongs to the taxing districts. As we move through the budgeting process, I am respectfully asking this board to build a budget that allows you to take the compensating rate. Because if you walk away from this claiming taxes were lowered, while still collecting substantially more revenue from increased assessments, then we have not truly lowered taxes. We have simply shifted a larger burden onto the people of this community. The additional revenue comes directly out of the pockets of our citizens. If rising property values were not tied to taxation, people would celebrate about an increased value of their home. Instead, many live in fear that they will no longer be able to afford a property because the property taxes have become too high that they've lived in for 30, 40, or 50 years. Now, I understand that the school has needs, and I support education, but I also believe we have a responsibility to balance those needs with the realities people are facing, and those are the people that fund this school. Because behind every assessment is not a number on a piece of paper. It's a family, it's a retiree, a caregiver, and a veteran. It is a citizen wondering how much longer they can hold on. Thank you very much for your time. Go Cards.
Thank you, Jada, Miss Brady, coming in. We appreciate you coming every time you come.
Thank you.
Yes. And that we don't have any other, anyone else on there. So we'll move on to our next agenda item, which will be Mrs. Kelly Fifth, and I think I saw her, there she is, to do the school leadership spotlight. I thought we had baseball games tonight.
We did.
Oh, sorry.
They canceled them
They
after
canceled them.
we.
Oh, I thought something terrible happened. Okay. So,
No sweating.
They may have driven all the way up there before.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. I've been there.
But I'm
So
here.
spotlights for
I'm
the.
here. Yes. So we're excited to continue our instructional spotlights this time. This week, we have 3 schools that will be presenting. We have Concrete that will be presenting first, followed by the Department of Early Learning, and then we'll have Strode Station to follow. So I'm going to turn it over to Concrete Elementary.
are you all still the Cougars? Still the Cougars?
We're the Colts.
I'm really old. Okay.
That's okay.
When were the Cougars?
Yes.
Maybe a few years ago.
This evening, we're here to talk to you about our Big Rocks. And so our Big Rocks are something that continue to evolve, and we continue to collaborate with not just people within our building, but outside of our building as well, to ensure that we are on the right direction for our school. On this slide, you can see the work that we did most recently with our staff at the end of the year, where we did some reflection all together. There are groups of staff members from all grade levels, from Related Arts, from our EC department, all working together to collaborate to make things better. We also got to work this year with Mr. Mike McCormick, who really impacted our work and our direction and just our thought processes. He brought to the table something that we just didn't think of before. His perspective was very much appreciated. And he's here tonight, so big shout out to Mike McCormick. We have linked on here the finished results of our Big Rock work with our staff, if you want to look at that later. But we went through things that they wanted to keep, things that they wanted to stop, and things that they wanted to start under each of our rocks. So that's on there as well. Our first rock is instruction, because obviously that's what we're doing at all of our schools. And we chose Tier 1 instruction because that, if you do that well, it hits all of your students. Underneath that, the pillars that go along with that were Kagan, OG, Math, iReady, and our Common Planning. To kind of summarize, especially Kagan, OG, and Math, our theme this year was empowering our teacher leaders and really prying out of my hands sometimes the responsibilities of leading that work. And so for all three of those things, we use teacher leaders in our PLC meetings and our faculty meetings to lead what they were learning and the great structures that were working. Yep. We had outside coaching in all three of those areas as well. We did a lot of videoing between peers. Our Kagan coaches this year kept this same group, which really built relationships that were meaningful. And so they were able to gain a lot more progress because of that. We also, on here you can see, we really emphasize common planning, not just the weekly planning that they are asked to do, but 3 times a year we set aside and got subs for our building to separate from all of the daily stress and really focus on standards and diving in and making sure our units were well developed and thought out. And then iReady's on there because that's what we're using to collect data and assess. And so our goal for Tier 1 instruction this year was to increase as a school in both reading and math by 10% in terms of performance. We did not meet that goal, but for reading 4 out of 5 grade levels did. So I think that's a pretty great thing to celebrate. And in math we did not, but in both math and reading we increased. We just didn't increase to the level that we wanted to. So that was our Big Rock 1. Big Rock 2 is behavior, because in an elementary school, behavior is just as important as instruction sometimes. Our 5 pillars under that are our Colts teams, where every kid and every staff member is a part of a team, where we're earning points and working together to do positive things. We have our Colts expectations that we've always had, but we tied them to a portrait ticket this year. So what that means is all the competencies of a portrait of a learner, you could get a portrait ticket for that this year from any staff member in the building, from our custodians to our teachers. So if they saw a committed collaborator, they could give them a portrait ticket. If they saw a resilient learner, they could give them a portrait ticket. Kids are then announced on the announcements daily. They get to come up, get their ticket, get a prize. It really helped us with the language with kids and staff, just being able to use that on a daily basis. We also have our morning meetings, our monthly themes, and our portrait focus. So every month we have a theme, from kindness to resiliency to cooperation, because children and staff need some reminders of how to do those things sometimes. So we have that, and then from October to March we had a different portrait competency as well that we focused on each month. We have individual classroom management systems, and then behavior MTSS was really important. Every 4 to 6 weeks we were meeting with our teachers and looking at data. We were also meeting monthly with Allison Nelson and our district team, assessing how things were going, what are the themes that we were seeing in our buildings. So some of the great results that we were able to see. Our goal this year was to decrease office referrals and suspensions by more than 10%. Office referrals decreased by 30%, and our suspensions decreased by 55%. So we were pretty stoked about that. And our last big rock was relationships, not only within but outside of the building, creating relationships with staff, students, and community partners. So our 5 pillars of that were our monthly themes, our clubs, which have been a great impact, not only qualitatively but quantitatively. It's hard to measure some of the ways that our clubs have impacted. Our kids want to come to school, our staff are able to do fun things and make relationships with kids outside of their classrooms, our families were able to come in and get to experience fun things with their kids and staff on not a stressful situation. We had community members involved in our clubs. We always do surveys with our stakeholders to make sure we're doing well. We do a positive phone call with our kids twice a year. And then we have our welcome squad and our mentors, which they also make a big impact. And most of you came and helped on our welcome squad this year. Not once, maybe even a couple of times. And so I hope you see the results from that. It doesn't just impact our kids, it impacts you guys too when you come and you get to see how excited they are to see you in the morning. So some of the results from this we were able to see were our impact survey and our upbeat survey. If you haven't checked out Conkrights, it's really great. Not only comparatively in the district, but across the state, our scores were awesome. Our staff want to be at our school. And then our attendance numbers is something else I wanted to shout out. 8 of the 10 months, we either hit attendance from last year or were greater. So that says to me kids want to be there. And then the last thing was our portrait work this year. I already kind of hit on our portrait tickets. We did our monthly themes, and within those monthly themes, each month teachers collected some kind of evidence from that. So if October was Resilient Learner, during that month they collected some kind of evidence from that, November, etc. And then in March we had a portrait night. And so it either was a physical binder for like our younger K through 2. We have a portrait example on there from our 3rd grade that was a digital example, but it included an evidence from each of the competencies, and then it also had like an about me, you know, who I am and what I've done this year, and some data collection. Each grade level came up with some questions that were appropriate for grade level. So that night, then those kids got to present to their families their portrait and share kind of what they've done this year and the progress that they've made. And it was a really great experience. We really enjoyed it.
We're going to change some things, but
yeah, absolutely. There's always room for improvement, but we feel like we had a pretty productive year this year. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Mr. Schwartz, I'd like to, in your input or your thoughts on how you all were able to decrease these office referrals and the suspensions by such big numbers.
Sure. It was a lot of collaboration. We had a lot of conversations with staff, making sure we're all using the same language. We sat down and we looked at a bunch of different office referrals, and we had teachers say, like, is this office referral worthy or is this teacher worthy? And then we had in-depth discussions about that, because what I think is defiance after working at, you know, middle school in Phoenix and different areas for 5 years might not be the same as someone else. You know, to me that's not very defiant. To someone else that's very defiant, right? So being able to narrow down what does that mean? Because if they're defiant, I'm writing an office referral. Well, okay, but what does that mean? So we were really able to break it down, and so that everybody was on the same page, and I think that really helped.
I think relationships are huge too, and making connections. I think we paired students up with mentors, and so we had like art with kids that were just naturally inclined to the art teacher or the gym teacher or B or sport. Like, we just used all our adults in the building.
I think purposeful scheduling too, and putting kids in classrooms there where we know they're going to be successful. I think putting staff in places where we know that they're going to be successful and using their strengths, and again, prying some things for me and allowing people to lead in the area of behavior. Our Pathways program this year was amazing. And so to see certain things click and work that we've worked towards and put effort in over the years, I think that's too. I don't think it was a one-year thing. It's something that we have focused on for a couple years, and so we're finally seeing the fruits of our labor and the consistency. Yeah.
Sure. Do you all have any questions?
I was over there and I saw a lot of things firsthand, so.
So some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So we appreciate your support.
Yes,
Comment.
I want to come read to the kindergartners every day if I could.
Yes.
Did you get to read to the kindergartners?
I did do that, and then I was there at the musical, and that really impressed me.
Yeah.
You got elementary students, and they were really there, you know.
I was
They
so
wanted
worried
to do
when I
that, and
sleep.
it's impressive.
Yeah. I put one of the kindergartners to sleep talking, so. Carl, do you have any questions for the Concrite?
No, I'm partial to Concrete. My grandkids.
I know.
We might have some of your favorite people at our school.
That's right,
But
that's right.
yeah, I'm so excited to see these results, and I will come back to the welcome squad. That's quite fun. So, except for dead winter or when it's pouring the rain.
Yes, sometimes we get a week where it rains all week, but hopefully you don't get one of those weeks.
No, it's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Yes.
good evening. So, thank you for allowing us to come and have the opportunity to showcase all the great things that are happening in the Department of Early Learning, which serves students from 6 weeks old to 12 years old. So hang on tight, we're about ready to go for an early learning ride. So with me tonight, I have Miss Gail Ricketts, who's the director at the Cardinal's Nest, and she'll be coming up here and sharing all the great things that are happening at the Cardinal's Nest and their big rocks. And then I have Miss Marianne Trimble. I don't know why they're standing so far away from me, but she's the assistant director of early learning, and she oversees the aftercare program, and she's going to share all the great things that are happening in the aftercare and their big rocks. So we'll go ahead and get started with our baby cards.
Hello, as Ms. Blanton stated, I'm Gail Ricketts, the director of the Cardinal's Nest. And tonight I would just like to briefly reflect on the progress we've made this year and the positive impact that it has had on our students, our families, and the community. Our first big rock was strengthening family communication, community partnership, excuse me. We focus on building strong communication through daily conversations with the parents at pickup, drop-off, as well as increasing communication through an app that we use called Brightwheel. And that's just a communication tool similar to Parent Square, but it's for the child care end. This allows families to stay connected on their child's daily activities. It's live feed, it's the learning, the care that we're providing, feedings, diaper changes, naps, and it's also a way for them to send a message and check in, and we can communicate with them through that. We also saw an increase in partnerships in our family engagement events this school year, which shows the strong connection families have with our center. In addition, we've built value community partnerships with organizations such as the Clark County FFA, the Winchester Police Department, and the Fire Department as well. These partnerships provide meaningful learning experiences and opportunities to our children. Our second big rock was implementing the Funny Dapper curriculum. Throughout our center, staff's feedback has been very positive. It is user-friendly, it is developmentally appropriate, and it really engages in all ages for our children to learn and be open to new opportunities. As we reflect on the school year, we are proud of the growth we've made in communication with family engagement, community involvement, and classroom instruction as well. None of this would have been possible without the dedication of my staff, the support of our families, and our community partners as well. Thank you all for your continued support to our children and our center, and I look forward to continuing another year. Thank you.
Thank you.
I brought a sticky note with names because I'm terrible with them, and I want to make sure I give credit. So our aftercare program has grown drastically. We were at around 260 kids in the aftercare program, so we had 84 at the preschool, and then the rest were spread out among our elementary and Baker. So we saw lots of growth. Same thing for our summer care program that's getting ready to start. We're at right around 180 kids starting out at the beginning of the summer, and that if we can hire some more staff, we may be able to grow that as well. So our big rocks this year, we're building that strong family and community partnerships, and one of the things that we did is we also increased our use of Brightwheel. And Ms. Gail did a great job explaining that, but it allowed our staff to be able to have immediate contact with parents. That includes incident reports, accidents, immediate to the parents. So there's not that waiting until they pick up. Even if the small things, a small scratch, we're able to send a picture, message immediately, which was a great way. Our families learned to trust us, and then they started using that. And so we saw an increase from our parents back to us versus us always reaching out to the parents. We have our family engagement events, and a couple of the things we did this year, the showcase at GRC, we were a part of that, which was great because it allowed to show the connection that aftercare has with the district, because we've not always had that. So we were able to do that, as well as we worked with Flight Academy at Christmas, and we did a joint one at the library, which built our partnership with the library, and they're going to come this summer and read to our kids every Wednesday. So we're excited about that. We also have a great relationship with the fire department. They come and spray our kids. They asked to come, the kids ask, can they come every Friday? And I was like, that's a little much, but maybe every other Friday. So they will come and spray our kids with water, and they just absolutely love that.
Lawfully and legally.
Yeah, and we don't do preschoolers, no preschoolers.
Kids, you know.
Yes, and they loved it. There's pictures on Facebook. You can see them. They're great.
It's safe, it's safe.
Very safe.
Very safe, thank you. Go Cards.
GRC Color Guard, that was probably a surprise of how much the kids love that. And the staff, they asked me first thing for summer care, is the Color Guard coming back? They flew their flags, they let the kids flip the flags, they just absolutely love that. But it also introduced our Baker kids to that. And they may not be able to see that throughout the school year, but they were able to see it in summer care. We actually have about 3 kids who help participate in that as Baker students. So I think that's amazing. The cheerleaders came last year. They had a blast. They're coming back this year. We have basketball players are coming. We've set that schedule up. So we have a lot of things. We also took a field trip to Avalon Farms, which was amazing and first field trip we have ever taken. So, and we had a great time. The kids had a blast, and we look forward to planning more of those trips. Our second one, Big Rock, is our positive behavior support system, PBIS. We are implementing PBIS in a slow manner. We're starting with our preschool kids because that's what we know, and that's what our students are already trained at the preschool level. So we're learning that language in aftercare so that we can implement the same language in aftercare that they hear all day through the preschool. Introducing those bucket fillers. And then we also did behavior training, and a big shout out to Courtney Buchanan, who does ETRIS training, because with our program, you have to have ETRIS certified trainers. And so with that, Courtney came to our district on a Saturday, and we were able to train all of our staff through a grant for free. And they were able to get ETRIS hours for that. And then we also had Allison Nelson, one of our own, and Michelle Ashcraft, who also did a behavior training, and those are both great behavioral supports for us throughout the school year. So we are thankful to be able to have that with them. And then we also reviewed and revised our behavior policy. That was a big task, but we have that ready to roll, and we feel much more confident in the plans that we set up instead of just sending kids home. Now we have a plan. We have a plan that works, and our families appreciate that we're not calling to say, hey, we need you to come and pick up your kid, because we didn't know what to do. This is new. And now we have a great system set up to make sure that our students can stay and have a safe environment and a fun environment as well.
Okay, and the last one is preschool. So at preschool, we had 3 big rocks. The first one was building strong family and community partnerships. And one of the most significant things that we changed this year at preschool was when we did family engagements, we did more of a workshop followed with an activity. But this year, we kind of brought things back and we did more hands-on. So for example, we had a math night, and in that night, we had board games set up, card games. We turned hopscotch into a game. And it was just an opportunity to families to come in and sit down and play a board game with their kid. Play Hungry Hungry Hippos. I had to buy every teacher a Hungry Hungry Hippo game for their classroom after that event. But just to have family interaction. And we have seen our participation in our family engagements make a huge increase. Our families are coming to our events because they're engaging and they're actually doing things with their students. They're learning to play and to, play with their kids. We also continue to build our partnerships. One that's most prominent is our partnership with Winchester Parks and Rec. And so this year we did over 76 in the water swim lessons for our 4-year-olds who are going to kindergarten. We also did 19 in the classroom lessons, so that was a change this year because we collaborate with Parks and Rec, and what we did this year is the lifeguards came to preschool for their first lesson, and they introduced themselves. They went over the little card expectations at the pool, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
and just introduce themselves so that they could meet one another, so that when they went to the pool, they weren't seeing this stranger, because it's hard to get them to focus on people, much less the water, right, when we first get there. So that's been a huge success. That's a great partnership. We also continue our partnerships with FFA. They come over and do a monthly agricultural lesson with our child development students from GRC. So they plan, create, prepare, and they implement their lessons with our preschoolers. And these are students who are typically on the path of being an educator, child care provider, something with kids. And so they come over and they do their lessons with our students. Our little cards love working with the big cards. So that's kind of what we look at it as. And this year, we had French students. Yeah, we did. We taught some French lessons at the preschool. They came over and they taught them colors in French and planets and sun, and it was really good. They actually did really well. Our second big rock focused on our literacy and math through data collection, and this is probably the one I'm most proud of the preschool staff for. We changed our whole group PLC to work to be data-driven and data-focused. In January, we analyzed our Brigance data from the fall. And then Friday, we analyzed our Brigance data from the spring, and we compared them. And I truly had goosebumps on my arms because of the results and the collaboration and just the ownership of what this staff has done from January to May. And we've seen improvements from 14% to 40%. So in our work in January, we came up with 3 focus points. One was writing their first name, the other was lowercase letter identification, and then matching quantities to their numeral. And those seen significant growth, significant growth. That is probably one of the thing that I am most proud of for my staff is they actually seen the growth and they owned it. It was amazing. Again, it gave me goosebumps. They are looking forward to doing it again next year and coming up with those focus points. The third big rock is the positive behavior support system, which Ms. Trimble has mentioned. This is the pyramid model. We partnered with Berea Regional Training Center a couple years ago, 3 years ago, on an intensive model for the pyramid model, and that directly relates to that STAR programming for preschool. So that's what the state holds us accountable for. And we have been doing this for 3 years. We've seen such a significant growth in the positive reinforcement and a decrease in our behavior. And it's because we do it with fidelity. Like I said, Winchester Parks and Rec even lets us hang a little card matrix at the pool that tells what the expectations are there. They have them on the bus, they have them in the classroom, they have them in the hallway. We have them everywhere. Our big people, the tall people, have expectations. So we really have seen a lot of growth by using this and doing it with fidelity. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is our Portrait of a Learner at the preschool. This was our showcase. Look at all that cuteness. So at preschool, we chose to do our spring concert for our showcase. There's not really a better way to exhibit all the competencies of the Portrait of a Learner for our preschoolers. We did 4 shows in 2 days, at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, and there was 400 parents, grandparents, families, community. Everybody just showed up. It was a big show. As you can see from the pictures, it was sitting room only, standing room. I have ordered 100 more chairs for next year. So some of the things that we did different this year due to the Portrait of a Learner and working through UK and with Ms. Fitland is we had our students, they practiced the morning of so that everybody is included. Everybody gets to do a show, and we had a small audience so that they could perform in front of them. And then we also do the show in the evening, but this year we had 3 students, we had an opportunity for 3 students from each class to come up and introduce the song. So the teachers would pick a student from their class. They had 3 different songs they sang, and they got to come up and they got to say the song in the microphone. Some of them said it loud and proud, and some of them who have social that we've been working on all year said it. It may not have been loud and proud, but they said it in front of 250 plus people that they don't know that's yelling for them. right? So that is huge, huge, huge. We also did a video, so every student got to do a video that told like how they were an empowered leader or a committed collaborator or a resilient learner. Whatever they felt and like they made progress with, we did a video, and we showed that video. So the forest that they were the 5 o'clock show, we showed that video from the time that we opened the door until the show began, so the parents got to watch it while they were waiting. So, do you have, that's a lot. I said hang on for an early learning ride. Do you have any questions?
Do you have any questions?
No.
Carl, do you have any questions? Carl?
No.
Okay,
no.
just make sure you're
Thank
still
you.
there. All right. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
How are you all doing?
Good. Outstanding.
We still in there? Still
Oh,
hanging
yes.
on? Okay. So, I'm Anitria Costin. I'm the principal at Strode Station, and Jordan Folks, our assistant principal. Our purpose here, we put just pictures of our kids up there because that is our purpose. That is something that we do not want to lose focus on. Every decision we make, every move we make, it's for our students. And we always ask ourselves, is this what's best for students? I talk to the staff all the time, say, you know what, sometimes it's hard because we want to do what's best for us, but is it necessarily best for our kiddos? No. Sometimes, a lot of times it's harder for us. So we just put up pictures of our kids because that is our purpose, and we don't ever want to lose that's our purpose. All right, so we had 2 big rocks this year. Our first big rock was differentiation. So our goal was to, we aim to differentiate instruction to meet the unique needs of all of our students. So with over 560 kids in our building, there are a lot of unique needs. So we have to make sure that we're meeting all of their needs. And so how did we do it? We had very intentional conversations with our staff about small group instruction. We had conversations about what the lesson plans look like. We had conversations about what does station teaching look like. And if you're not familiar with station teaching, that's when we had 3 teachers in a room. We had the classroom teacher, the special education teacher, and an instructional assistant in there, all providing services. And in station teaching, there were small groups the entire time, and the kids rotated to each one to get what they need. We had lots of meetings, PLCs looking at data and really looking to see, is this the best place for the kiddo? What else do we need to provide? What do we need to put in place for them? So lots of conversations with that. We added specific questions about differentiation to our walkthrough document so that as we're going through rooms, we're looking to see, okay, is differentiation happening? If it is, what does it look like in this classroom? And if not, what else can we put in place to just make sure the kids are getting what they need in that? So with that, we had goals. Of course, if you know Kelly Fitton and Mr. Howard, there's, you got to make, okay, what's your goal? How are you going to measure it? Right? Don't look, he's like, okay, so how did we measure it? So we had our baseline at the beginning of the school year. We aim for 55% of our learners to be engaged in January. In our actual, by the time when we looked in January, it was 58%, so we met our goal. And then we talked to the teachers, we said, okay, we had really great conversations about what differentiation looks like, and sometimes you don't see differentiation happening because it could be just a fidget is something that the kid needs. That's how you differentiate for them. It could just be maybe the work was modified and you didn't know it because not everyone needs to know it when you're going into a classroom. So we had conversations about what is differentiation and what does it look like in the different classrooms and different scenarios. So from that point on, we went through and we were very intentional about what we were looking at and talking to the teachers. And we went back and looked at our data again at the end of the school year. We ended the year at 74% differentiation, which was well above our goal of what we want intended for that. So that is awesome. So kudos to our teachers who stayed and they're here supporting us. So thank you for that. All right. Anything I need to add? All right. Next, you want engagement or we do engagement?
We'll roll with it, right? I might need her to back me up in a minute. Okay, our second big rock was to increase student engagement and interaction in the classroom. And Ms. Costin and I got to talking about, we say Kagan all the time, right? Have you all heard Kagan a lot?
Well, we had this idea that we would just involve you in the Kagan structure, but we're not gonna do that tonight, just so you all know. So what we'll
I
do.
joke, queued up on my phone.
Yeah, so what we'll do real quick is just explain really quickly one of the structures that our teachers use, because our teachers are awesome about going around and coaching each other up, and really the all-time favorite one, you all might argue with me, but mixed pair share is one of the favorites. The kids love it because you play music, and when the music begins, the students get out of their seat and they start mingling, walking around. When the music stops, they pair up with the person closest to them. So it could be anyone in the classroom. So the biggest thing that teachers say is no drive-bys, right? You all say that sometimes. So it ensures that students are interacting with not just someone that's sitting next to them. So when they are paired up, they give specific instructions to make sure they're interacting and not just standing there looking at each other. So I wanted to explain that to you all. So they might say the person that woke up the earliest go first, or the person with the longest hair go first, which is always funny because elementary students, if you're doing the tallest one, they're over there trying to guess. It's funny to watch. But it just really is being intentional with interaction and not just saying, turn and talk to your partner, which as teachers, we did that for years. I did it for years in my classroom, even at the carpet. But this is being super intentional with how they're interacting to ensure that there's simultaneous interaction, that there's actual equal participation. So that's what we were going around looking for when we talked about student interaction. So just to share a little progress with that, you know, our team leads, I think when we first met, they were reaching for 70%, right?
Yes.
They were like, next month we're going to be at 70%. We were like, that's a good end of year goal. Let's take it a little at a time. So we set a mid-year goal for 45%, and by January we were at 54%. And all of this is measured with our walkthrough. By the end of the year, they weren't kidding. They really wanted to get to 70%. They were at 73%. So that's kudos to all of our teachers and all of our students for really being willing to interact with each other. So lots of progress to share with that.
And also, I'll add with the walkthrough documents, when we go through, the teachers have no idea when they're getting a walkthrough. So that just shows that they're doing that differentiation and they have engagement going on all the time. Because I only tell you, if you all of you educators, you know all of a sudden when the teacher's like, oh, they're coming in, let me pretend to do this. No, it's seamless. It was already in their plans. And speaking of, that's something that we had in our conversations also, is making sure that we added engagement in our lesson plans so that we were intentional about adding them in every week and upping that student engagement. All right. The last thing we're going to talk about is our portrait of a learner and what we did and what we do. We talk about portrait each and every day. It is not a standalone thing. It's not just, you know what, showcase is coming up, let's do something portrait-wise. We started day one implementing portrait in our daily conversation with our students and with our staff. Some of the things we do, we did Stallion of the Week. This year we have our Engaged Citizen. Empowered Leader of the Week. I stop and think. We had our Empowered Leader of the Week where the teachers recognized every Monday a student in their classroom that stood out as that empowered leader, and so they were recognized. We had our teachers who were recognized as portrait leaders. They nominated each other for recognitions, and so they could be engaged citizens, reflective innovators, whatever it is, and we recognized our teachers every week also for portrait. We combined it with our PBIS, our behavior, and so that you can say, all right, Jordan, you know, is doing a great job. She was our engaged citizen, so here you go. You get a little dojo. We connected our positive rewards with the portrait of a learner language, so the kids heard it all the time. And you just didn't give, you know, say you got a dojo. The teachers actually explained why they were getting a dojo, and they used that language of you were being a reflective innovator, so you get a dojo. And so then, when we had our PBIS assemblies every 9 weeks, we recognized students in classrooms that were achieving the different portraits in the different dojos for that. Now, is anything you want to add before I keep going? Okay, so now going to the showcase, what we did with our showcase that we had back in April. Was it April? I got to go back, you all. Was it April, March? March, thank you. We did it back in March. We actually decided this time to do a big showcase in each grade level. They got to decide which competency that they wanted to highlight. And I thought it was fun. It looked like the kids had fun. Teachers, did you all think it was fun? Yep, so they had fun. And we got a chance to partner with different schools. We partnered with the preschool. So our kindergartners, after they went through and decided what they were showcasing and what they were doing, they got to go and practice with the preschoolers down there. So thank you, Ms. Blanton, for letting us go. And it was the sweetest things. I've got videos if you all want to see it. The preschoolers, they partnered up with one of our kinders, and our kinders did a little, okay, this is what the presentation was. And then our first, second, and third graders, we partnered them up with another class, and so they got to practice their showcase piece and talk about it. And then our fifth graders, not fifth graders, our fourth graders are now fifth graders, I've been talking about that, they got to showcase to the community. And so we invited lots of people from the community in, and they got to come in and practice and showcase their portrait learning. And then we had our big night with our parents. And we sent out, after that, we sent out a survey to our parents, and we got feedback on what they liked, some areas of growth for us the next time we do it. And I thought, you know, going forward, it is just something I think is just going to grow our kiddos more. All right, anything I left out? Anything I want to add? All right, staff, anything? Teachers? All right, any questions?
Questions? Pearl, do you have any questions?
No, sounded great. Sounded great.
All right. Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you all so much. Our next agenda item will be with Mrs. Kelly Fitton to acknowledgement and consider approval of the CCPS Certified Evaluation Plan 2627.
So annually, we have to review our certified evaluation plan. This is what guides all of our evaluations for our certified staff. We do have a committee that has met 3 times. It is composed of 50% teachers and 50% administrators to make sure we're reviewing it from all roles in the district. The only change this year was aligning one date, so one plan had the same date for all teachers regardless of what tenure year that they were in. Otherwise, our plan has remained the same from last year. The past couple of years, we've done an extensive amount of work with our evaluation system. Last year also, Kentucky revised from a 3-year rotational plan to a 5-year plan. So we had a lot of changes last year. So coming into this year, our team did not see any need for any big revisions. So other than one date, it's the same evaluation plan that we used last year, or this past current school year. So do you have any questions?
Questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, Ms. Thomas. Give me a second. Second by Ms. Rowland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Our next agenda item is acknowledgement and consider approval for the CCPS Classified Evaluation Plan 2627.
So much like the certified evaluation plan, we also have a classified evaluation plan that we update annually. We also have a committee that has met to make sure that we have several different perspectives from several different roles of classified staff across the district. Much like the certified plan, there were no major changes. We had a few typo errors as we shifted from a written system to a digital system. We noticed some of the forms had some errors just in the formatting. We fixed that, but as far as the actual structural components of the plan, there are no changes. The committee decided nothing needed to be updated.
So this is the same one that they used last year?
Yes, ma'am.
classified? I just thought it was long, so I didn't realize. Yeah, how many pages long is classified one?
The classified one, we do have a handbook, 2, 4. This one, the handbook is 7 pages in the handbook, but there are also links to all the additional forms that they can fill out. We do use a digital format so that our administrators fill everything out online. They do meet with all of our classified staff to go over what that evaluation is, and then everybody signs off through a digital platform.
It just seemed like, and I'm going back to when I worked there, our evaluation used to be 2 pages, classified.
Yes.
And The principals had a hard time.
The actual form, yes.
They had a hard time getting those done
Mhm.
for all the staff.
Mhm.
So I was just thinking, gosh, this one looks so long.
Yes. We do have administrators on the committee. We do make sure that we have administrator input as well as any classified staff in the district. And none of that was brought to concern, so we'll continue to review and look at that annually, but administrators.
How many pages is the actual evaluation?
There, if I remember correctly, there are 7 brackets. It's not 7 pages, but there are 7, and I can bring it up in just a few minutes, but there are 7 components. In the handbook, let's see, on the last page where it has the evaluation forms, the first link where it says formative and summative evaluation, that links to the actual evaluation form. Justin, if you don't care to click that first link for me, please, because I don't want to tell you wrong. So they have different standards. So the first one is on the job knowledge, and if you'll scroll up for me, please. So in this particular one, under job knowledge, there are 5 subcomponents, and then they either meet the designee, needs growth, or does not meet, or maybe it doesn't apply. So that's the first one. The second one is productivity. Again, that has 6 substandards underneath of that. The third one, personal characteristics related to the job or work, and that one has, maybe 11 substandards underneath of that one. The fourth one, decision-making or judgment, and there are 7 substandards. The fifth, interpersonal relationships. Thank you. Work quality for the 6th standard. Communication skills is the 7th standard. Attendance and punctuality for the 8th. And professional growth for the 9th standard. So there are 9 standards. And then each of those have substandards underneath. And they can, again, rank them as they meet that substandard, does not meet, they need growth, or some of those don't apply. With our classified staff, there is a wide range. We have anywhere from instructional assistants, cafeteria staff, bus monitors, bus drivers, maintenance. So it encompasses a large amount of our staff. And so they can, designate that it does not apply because we have one system that has to make sure we're encompassing all of our roles in our district of our classified staff.
Any more questions, Mrs. Thomas?
No, if nobody has complained that it's too long or anything, then I guess it's, now if they did complain or something like that, would you all change that or?
We meet every single year. Anybody has the option to be on the committee. In January, we send out an email to all certified staff and also an email to all classified staff, and anyone can volunteer to be on this committee. We took everyone that volunteered to be on the committee. We met twice, looked at all of our handbook, all of the standards. We took any input, and we also send out a survey. There's a survey that goes to all classified staff as well, and we look at that input to make sure we're capturing a voice of all of our staff. So everybody has the option to give input.
I've worked in as a supervisor for many years, and this is it looks very standard, I know it's more specific for education, but a lot of those areas you see on pretty much any comparable type of job in other places. So at least that's what I saw in all of them.
At one point, this was last year, and we did revisit this year, we talked about having a different evaluation form for every single role of our classified staff. Like that was talked about, so it could be even more specific, but we decided that was a little much and decided to go with a general form that could meet the needs of any one of our roles.
And they can always, like, say, hit non-applicable.
Yes, ma'am.
And as a former principal, and even now with evaluating my classified staff, a lot of times if it's not applicable, we'll hit that. And the summative is actually a 1-pager. So this is the formative version is the 9, but the summative has all those 9 categories. And it's just on 1 page. So that's kind of the summary document. Makes it really easy peasy.
Any other questions? I make a motion to approve the CCPS classified evaluation plan.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay. Our next agenda item, is everybody good? Everybody good to keep going? Okay. Our next agenda item is consider approval of bid for Indris Engineering for the surveying work for RDC athletic fields for the RDC Baker renovation project in the amount of $11,210. Hello.
Good evening.
Ron Buckner, take over, Bubba.
All right, so we had two estimates come back, one from PK4 and one from Endress. Endress was less expensive, and they also were able to get it done faster. So our recommendation, as seen in the summary here, was to go ahead and go with Endress for the survey work there. We worked with them before. They actually did the survey work on the preschool, and we have a good relationship with them. The survey they have on it is one of the best that we work with across the board. So
I want to highlight again, we've hit the exact, they're cheaper and they're faster.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheaper, faster.
It does not always work out that way.
I just want to highlight that.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Buckner?
Yeah, as long as they're good, that's.
Yep.
Do I make a motion to approve this bid from Enders Engineering in the amount of $11,210? Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Rowland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 5-0. Next agenda item is consider approval for the special inspections proposals for the athletic field work at RDC and GRC Fieldhouse, BG 26-108.
Is UES on that?
So, sorry, on which one?
Is UES on
For the spin?
Yeah.
Or, no, so I actually, the spin proposals, we're gonna ask that we hold off on those for just a minute.
Oh, okay.
So we only received one proposal back on the spin. We've reached out to 3 additional contractors. We would like to have, at least 2 or 3 to go off of before we, we ask or recommend a decision on that. So just so you're not locked into a single price from a single spin contractor. We have a little bit of time, so we're going to propose that we do that next month instead. I apologize that some of that came up today, so we just decided we were going to kind of push back on that a little bit. That should not affect anything. It's nothing on mostly for the practice field. So compaction, concrete work, things like that will not be happening in June. So having that at the June meeting, I think would be totally reasonable with this.
For timelines and trying to get that done.
That's right. Just to have a better number for you all.
So do we need to put a hold on this?
You can table it to the
Table
June
it.
meeting.
Okay, I make it to table this approval until June. Okay, thank you. I know that I did not say that right, but all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Okay, that motion to table passes 5-0. All right, our next agenda item is consider approval of the construction documents for the football field renovation at RDC BG 26-108.
So if you switch to the next page, this is the erosion, pollution, and sediment control plan. Nothing particularly exciting on here for you all. The demolition plan is the next sheet. So on this one, you'll see that we've got the area of this is site demolition. So we've got the area of parking that kind of extents of the site that we're going to be doing demo work on. And then go to the next. So this is our site layout plan.
I can blow it up.
Okay, there we go. Scroll down a little bit. I think the sheets are off for some reason on the listing here. If you scroll down a little bit more. So this should be this is our grading plan. Yeah, interesting. So it says scroll up. I think for some reason it's like trying to jump to the next sheet when you're selecting on the left. Okay, so this is the site development plan here. So you'll see the kind of overall look. Obviously, the field. Made some minor adjustments since we've last seen this. You'll notice that based on we'll get to the grading plan here in a minute. We made some adjustments to the retaining wall just to be able to kind of negotiate the grades around that area a little bit better. One of the things that's going to have to change from the last time that we spoke is we're actually going to be relocating the scoreboard. It's getting in the way of where that retaining wall leg is coming out here onto this side. So it's just, we're not replacing it, it's just moving it just back a little bit further. All right, so scroll down to the next. You can see this a little bit better here on the grading plane. So the dark lines are where we're manipulating the grading after the work is done. So in order to extend the field and get both the width and the length that we're wanting, it gets into the grading on these corner areas. So the extension here of this retaining wall, as well as the grading here is being shown, is all updated since the last time that we saw this at BB's.
Are there any plans on the field house end where that grassy area is there?
This section through here, this is what you're
No,
thinking, or further down?
Further down by the stands.
The only thing that we're touching here is the replacement of some sidewalk on this side.
Brian, as far as, like, I know when we do all this work, is anything going to affect the neighborhood that's beside? Do you have any concern about anything for them? Is
No.
it more of it run down towards the field, like any runoff and that sort of thing?
No, we shouldn't have anything like that.
Okay.
In fact, if you go down to the next slide, or the next sheet rather, this is the drainage plan. So you see the under drain system for the turf field. What you'll notice here is the replacement of these 3 large 30-inch RCP round concrete pipe to replace the steel pipe that's currently in place that we kind of talked about before when we scoped it and it's failing. That is pulling drainage that's coming down here. So we actually, in a way, you're improving the quality of the system from the neighborhood that's directly adjacent to it. So we have a swale moving down in this direction where it enters this location, and then it daylights down at the head wall at the end. So I think that in doing that, it's definitely a net improvement for the total system, both for the school as well as the adjoining neighborhood. That kind
I was
of
thinking they're just a little bit higher up. Isn't that neighborhood or is it about even?
it's about even. We're just adjusting the kind of localized dimensions, but it's not going to put any additional runoff or anything like that that you would have seen from before in that area. And again, with the drainage system that we have included in there for the under drain system on the field, you're encapsulating a lot of the runoff there directly on the field itself. So.
Awesome.
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
That 3 pieces of 30 inch there, is that tying into a 48 that's already existing, or we're gonna have to cut that road, or?
They're tying into the head wall on the opposite side. I don't believe that they're planning to cut the road through that area. That's not my understanding. I don't believe that they're doing that.
Well, the road goes all the way down to the field house too, like the little
Yes,
pathway.
that's correct, yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it would probably still,
My understanding is they're tying in on this side.
which that road crosses over
And it
there.
crosses right here.
Yeah.
So we're just to the, plane east of that. I can confirm with Mike and make sure that they're not gonna impact that at all. So.
I mean, I think, that whole back area is still, the asphalt and everything back there is still pretty old. Concrete sidewalks, everything, so even if we end up, pretty good to do some additional work there.
We considered at one point kind of replacing a larger section of that drive down in anticipation of having to do some of that work, but decided against doing that full run of it for the time being. So,
And if that changed, we still have the Marty Way.
Marty Jackson.
Jackson Parkway. That's not it.
Marty Jackson.
Marty Jackson Way, that we can get access to that building. So we've got some adjustment to do.
after these, and after these sheets, we've got the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing sheets. So what you're seeing in there, we don't need to run through every single sheet unless you really want to. But we're showing the new water lines for the new hydrants that we have there, or water drink fountain areas for access, bottle filling, things like that, as well as the electrical boxes, and then the relocation of the sports lights moving towards the existing parking lot area. So again, we're reusing the light poles. We're just replacing the sports lighting system at the top of those poles as well. So otherwise, y'all have any questions on this?
Any other questions?
When does it start?
So right now, this is the construction document approval. We're currently under quality control review in our office right now with our engineers. So they'll go out to Codell next Wednesday on the 3rd. So once that goes out to Codell, they're gonna have they're gonna try to shorten the bid period on this a little bit, and see if we can get some costs back in faster on it, just kind of like what we did for the practice field. And we would move forward and have construction beginning over the summer, so towards the end of the summer. So it'll work through, all the way through the fall, and through the winter and everything there, so.
Any, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, as far as the additional work, so the baseball and the softball turf, so we've approved the survey tonight. We're gonna be looking to do a geotech survey as well, just to confirm some locations there, at both locations. So we're gonna be doing that in June as well. And otherwise, we think that we are on track for end of July to get those documents out for the infield turf replacements. So just want to give you a brief update on that, as well as since Craig's not here tonight, so just kind of recap what we're doing with the other projects. Today is the first kind of official day of construction. So they are, right now, they've been focused on, kind of assigning laydown space and things like that for materials. We've pulled through all of the shop drawings for the roofing projects, and the vast majority of them for the HVAC replacement over the past month. So they're able to start going ahead and doing orders, and everything is on track currently. So.
All right, any other questions? All right, do I have a motion to approve the construction documents?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Kaiser, do I have a second? Second. Will, second Ms. Rowland. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. We need to take just a quick break. We'll come back at 7:35, 7:40? 7:40? Does that give us enough time? And if we can start sooner, we will, but we just need to take a quick break. So thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah.
Dora,
Yes, Carl.
I'm gonna have to check out.
Are you okay?
No, yes, I'm fine. I just need I've got a work event now, so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So.
Well, thank you for joining. We'll see you Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Be
All right,
careful driving
I'll be there
fast.
Thursday.
Okay.
All right, see you.
Bye-bye. He's got little bubbles going with his up finger. That was funny. Seen that?
Oh, when he gives you the little thumbs up one?
Yeah. Go ahead and. I'm not gonna touch this computer because I can barely do my own. Mrs. Alicia Ellis give us our financial update.
Good evening. So we are looking at our April financials, and we are 2% up on our revenues compared to this time last year. We're at 88%. And expenses are 78%. That's 5% up from this time last year, which is primarily due to inflation. I mean, our costs are just more expensive this time of year. I think everybody's feeling that crunch. Property taxes are at 104 collection on our budget, so that is fantastic. Franchise, we're at 82, motor vehicle 83, for an overall of 99% of our budget on our taxes. With the collections of what we actually received just here in May, we are up over 100% of our budget at a little at 17,000 over budget. So we are collectively of all of our taxes, when you add them all together, over what we have budgeted on taxes. So that is actually fantastic news. We have, not individually, but collectively, we have hit our mark on our taxes. So
Do you think, and this is my social work brain asking this question, because didn't we have a big chunk of franchise property tax in, and does that skew this at all when we're looking at these numbers?
So property is 104, franchise is actually only 82% of our budget, and a chunk of that is actually prior years. So we have not actually collected current year franchise.
Okay.
So we are actually behind in current year taxes of franchise.
That's the one they pay whenever they want.
So that's the one that is like,
right, and then that's what
you don't know when you're going to get it, because it's based on business income taxes. And it is when they file, they can put in dispute. You don't know when they're going to pay
Extensions.
it. They can file extensions with the state. They have property in transit. I mean, there's a lot of things with that the timing of when they pay that is very unknown, unfortunately.
I guess that's what my brain was
Yes.
thinking. I just want to make sure.
It's a good question.
It is very good that property is up and motor vehicle is always on par. We always meet those two, which is again why we budget under budget. So just kind of a quick lesson, we under budget what actual 100% property value assessments are, because we're never going to collect 100% of what assessments are. It's just not going to happen. So regardless of what that value is, we'll never collect it in the tax year that it is valued at. It's just not going to happen. So we cannot bank on that. This is a prime example. We're sitting here at the month of April. Even I can show what we've collected for the month of May already, and we're only at 82%. And that is undervaluing the 100% value of the property. We are not going to hit, I can tell you right now, we're not going to hit 100% on June 30th of franchise.
Right.
I can project that.
Right.
Thankfully, we have over collected on property by 104, so that overall bucket of 3 pockets of property values on all, we're good. We've over collected on them, so they kind of balanced each other out, which is the goal. That's why we budget the way we budget. So,
thank you.
Very good question. Any questions otherwise? We will talk more budget on Thursday.
So our next agenda item is to authorize payment of salaries and accounts payable. I make a motion to authorize those payments.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Mr. Kaiser had to leave. Our next agenda item is consider approval of capital funds request.
So this is the request to move the excess funds in our capital, which is restricted funds, we are not going to not have to pay on our debt. So we are allowed to move that into general fund. So this is the means of how we have to move it. So we just need that approval from the board.
Do I have a motion to?
I'll make the motion to approve the capital funds request.
Motion by Mr. Dorsey. Second by Ms. Rowland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 unless there's any other conversation. Right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you Thursday. All right, our next agenda item is consider approval of revision for mental health therapist job description. Ms. Dr. Tammy Parrish.
I'd like to defer to Mrs. Nelson, as this is her area of expertise with this job description and this grant.
All right, Mrs. Nelson.
Good evening. So we have a job description here for a mental health therapist. We were fortunate enough to receive some grant funding through KDE that will support our ability to increase the capacity of us to provide billable or reimbursable behavioral health services. So this particular job description is part of what will help build our capacity to use expanded access to increase the amount of behavioral health and wellness services that we are able to offer students and families through the school system. Really excited about this opportunity. We are looking at qualified individuals who will be able to provide direct mental health and behavioral health services to students at school.
Well, you know, I'm ecstatic about this. So, when you say reimbursable, when it comes to how is there a special fund, or is this like through private insurance? Medicaid?
Yeah. So, 2019. The state of Kentucky was awarded some funding through Medicaid where we can provide school-based services for behavioral health as well as other health type services to students that are Medicaid or CHIP eligible students, and this is regardless of any other status they have. So typically we can bill or be reimbursed for services that are provided on specialized plans. But in 2019, they opened up Medicaid access for schools. This opens up a variety of other services that we're able to provide students. So we're really looking to use that resource so we can close gaps for students, reduce barriers, and increase access to quality mental health and wellness services.
I just know, working in a community mental health center, I think one of the biggest areas that isn't necessarily Medicaid, but your private insurance kids.
Yes.
Because it's hard, you know, for example, I'm an LCSW, I can bill pretty much any insurance, but my coworker who is a certified social worker who is working on that independent license can only bill Medicaid.
Yes. Yeah.
And so over my years, there's this pocket of the private insurance. It's really hard sometimes.
Yeah, well, and I think too, that's a really good point. So we would request reimbursement for the students that we're able to request reimbursement for. However, this would not limit this individual's ability to service any and all students in our schools. So it would allow us to provide services to all students, but we're basically going to be able to get that reimbursement for those qualified services that we're providing, whether it be like psychotherapy, CBT, DBT, those types of things. So we're looking for highly qualified individuals and looking to get them trained up and build our capacity so we can really have a long-term sustainable plan for our mental health services.
It's a big win when you have someone who's trained, who's licensed, that's layers of protection for the school, for the student, for the students, number one. And so I was so excited to hear about this. So I am thrilled. So it's just a step in that I love that we keep building this. So
Yes, me too.
I make a motion to approve the revision for mental health therapist job description. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Rowland. Do we have any other discussion or questions for Ms. Nelson?
Are you gonna be hiring more than one?
Yes, the goal will be to hire more than one. I'm not sure exactly on the exact number, depending on the funding that we have, but yeah. And we'll look over the course of the years. Again, our goal is capacity and sustainability. So we're looking to build over time.
Sustainability.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down too. So that's awesome. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you for all your hard work
Yeah,
on this.
thank you guys, appreciate it, thank you.
All right, I will now hand it over.
Right as the AC kicks on, all right.
To
Good thing my voice carries, I appreciate that.
Superintendent's report.
A couple things I want to point out on the consent agenda item. There's a couple MOAs. I think they're very important because for us in this district, our partnerships with KEDC and CKEC, who are educational cooperatives, this allows us to get services support, everything from HR to finance to PPP, trainings. On the CKEC side, I know of our academic teams use a lot of their trainings. A lot of them are free for us. So it's a great investment, and I want to make sure everybody kind of knows what that is. And they're really great together because some of the KDC does much more of the operational things. CKEC really supports us a lot with a lot of our academics. So that's why they're kind of both on there. I just want to make sure you guys were apprised of what that was. I guess the biggest news, we graduated 438 plus students on Friday night. Of course, you guys were there. Lots of celebrations all the way around. So I'm extremely proud of the planning and preparation that went into that event, not just on the getting it done side, but a lot of those kids have been with us 13 years. We're celebrating again, not just the end of their educational experience, but the beginning of what they're going to do next. And that's one of my favorite days. I say that all the time. Love, love, love graduation day. So what next? We got teacher work days. We had teacher work day today, also tomorrow. We're closing out the year, but also beginning to plan for next year. Because unlike sometimes folks believe, we don't really actually shut down ever. So we're working hard to get into next year. A couple of things that will also start this week. The Flight Academy has their big kickoff event. That's on Thursday. The starting date will be June 1st. So this is targeting last year. It was literacy only. This year we're actually building in some math and conceptualization support as well, on top of, again, hammering down on literacy, phonics, phonological awareness, and comprehension, along with some fluency when we can, because we're trying to get kids on grade level by the 3rd grade. So I've said a billion times, we're not closing gaps, we're being intentional and making sure they never exist. All those are free. And we also provide transportation for free and meals for free. So huge shout out to our transportation department, Muncie Backyard Food Services, and all of her staff. They do a phenomenal job. Summer feeding is also coming up. So there'll be information out there on where to pick up your 10-day meals this year versus 7 days. I encourage you to come out and help us. It is a big time. Food service folks, they have a big time wheeling out gallons of milk and watermelons and everything in between. Our maintenance crew does a fantastic job with that. Our police force manages the lines. We got really, really good at it last year. So come and take advantage of that. More information to come on that. Lots of other camps are starting, including STEM camp going on this week at the Hannah McClure Cardinal Community Center. Big shout out to Ms. Bush and her staff. They got so many things going on. We've had to open up, and we have now have their website live. So if you go to our home site, it's actually under schools. You can click on there. Mr. Kaysen, there we go. And just like that, on cue. This is something that we've been working to make live. You can also ask questions. We're going to be scheduling events on there. Starting yoga classes, is that correct? Yoga. We're trying to get somebody in-house to do some, what was that, Zumbi? Somebody Zumbi? I asked if I could do it in a suit. That's questionable. But a lot of great opportunities to continue doubling down on connecting our school district and community as one to grow greatness. So lots of things. Again, next month we'll have an update of all the events on the consent agenda item for the community center, so you guys can go through that as well.
Isn't there a big mental health thing tomorrow night there? It's from 6 to 8.
Big mental health thing,
their
6 to 8. I think the collaboration with Ms. Nelson and Krista Bush. You want to add something?
Yeah, sure. So it starts tomorrow at 6 to 7:30 is the event, and it's a mental health event mainly around suicide prevention as well. We have a lot of community partners that will be there. So we have our health department, we have New Vista, we have representatives from the court system that will be there. School representative will be there. It should be a pretty educational and interesting good time. So excited about that.
And keep your eyes open for other events, like I said, going on all summer long, from art camps to theater camps. Again, STEM camp this week. So again, lots of great things going on in the district all summer long. That's all I got. Any questions?
The only, so there is a cost for the membership. It says a membership agreement, so is it an MOU for the KEDC?
Yes.
So it's not necessarily a cost associated with that? I mean, I know there's a cost.
So there is, but we build it into the budget every single year, so it's not an additional cost.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Howard? No? All right. So I'll move on to the consent agenda items. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
I make that motion.
Mrs. Rowland. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Rowland, and I'll second. So we are adjourned at,
Yeah.
we need to take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. We are adjourned at 7:57 p.m.